Hey, school success makers. Welcome to another edition of the School Success Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater, and today we're going to do something new that we've actually never done before. We're going to try it out and see how it goes. We kind of finished our mini series where we're going through things that you guys can do to help with enrollment, since we're obviously right in the middle of enrollment season. But then we've had some just great episodes in the past, and we've had over 100 episodes for the School Success Podcast, which is just awesome. So many great people, great interviews, and just great things that I've learned, and I know you guys have learned as well. So we're going to try something. We're going to do some episodes with just highlights of the different things we've learned from the different guests we've had on, and we're going to try and piece a few of them together for each week, so you guys can kind of get a recap of some of the biggest takeaways, the biggest moments that we've had on the podcast. So that's what we're going to do. So a little different, but I hope you guys enjoy and get some little nuggets from the episodes that you can, again, as always, take back to your school to make it better than it is right now. So please enjoy this week's highlights and episodes from past episodes on the School Success Podcast. Enjoy.
Sure, it has definitely changed. Way back then, we actually served students all the way up through 12th grade or age 22. And then we've scaled back. So we've been up through the 5th grade for quite some time. It was even before 2012 that we stopped the high school program and middle school program. But we've definitely seen our population change. It's definitely just more challenging. And gosh, you throw in COVID the last couple of years, and I think we're finally getting to see the light there. But it's definitely changed. Education has changed as well. So there are so many more new guidelines and standards, things that we all adhere to. So that's different than it was back in late 90s, early 2000s.
I think the first one is creating a strong sense of alignment organizationally. And that's something that you don't maybe hear traditionally in a school, but I think when a school is looking at itself and saying, hey, we're going to be a network of schools and we're all brand new in the first year of operation, making sure everybody's on the same page becomes really important, because most schools you go into, there might be a couple of new people, but there have been some people who've been there for a few years, and there's probably some people who've been there for many years, right? And so there's a sense of how things were done and like what's the culture been there that people will assimilate to or learn. Here in establishing a new culture, much of it's been how do we get teachers who've never potentially taught at a charter school to understand what our school expectations are? How do we get leaders who might have not led at a charter school? How do we get families who might have never attended a charter school? How do we get a board who might have never governed a charter school to all be aligned on like what's the vision and the values we want to really instill in our kids, and what are the practices that are going to lead us to the goals we want to achieve? So that's been something where it's been a lot of teaching and a lot of building across all of our stakeholders that not only me, but my team has been really responsible for.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break from the episode to highlight our amazing sponsors over at America's Christian Credit Union. They are celebrating 65 years of service this year, and they provide essential school banking services and a tuition financing program for schools looking to reduce their risk and administrative burden. And you guys can find out all about them on their website, americaschristiancu.com/schools. That's americaschristiancu.com/schools. They are amazing over there, and I always like to say, if you're a school that collects tuition and you have a hard time collecting all of tuition at the end of the year, maybe it comes around May, June, you're like, man, we only got collected 95 or 98% of what tuition was owed to our school. One of the things you can do is have your parents get a tuition financing loan through the credit union, and then they pay the credit union directly, and you get your funds up front at the beginning of the year as the school. So you don't have to chase people throughout the year, and you can focus on what you do best, and that is loving and educating your students. And it doesn't cost your school anything to do it. So check them out online, americaschristiancu.com/schools. All right, back to the show.
First thing that comes to mind for that is a positive school culture. I'm so proud to actually say this is the best year that I want to say that I have actually seen in quite some time. So And I think that has a lot to do with just learning from past mistakes and how to do things better and listening to your staff. And that kind of goes into getting feedback from the staff, but that was something I'll share for later. But yeah, a positive school culture is one of the best things that's going on for us right now.
I really take a lot of pride in the work the team is doing and all of the different commitments that they put into to making it a great environment for kids. And so we've seen, that, has been a huge win and a boost for all of the members who put in the work this year. And knowing that, one of the areas that we've really seen a lot is student growth. When we look at our data and seeing that consistently, we're meeting the needs for a lot of the scholars we have in our building, and we're committed to closing gaps for the students who still have some areas to go. And so seeing committed small group instruction, seeing that our data points have moved from the fall to the winter and from the winter to the spring gives me a lot of encouragement that the kids who stay within our program are going to learn and grow in ways that are going to set them up for college and career success over time.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break to highlight one of our amazing sponsors, and that is ClassReach. Now, ClassReach supports schools of all sizes from application to graduation. Take charge of your school with ease, power, and mobility using ClassReach, the school management software administrators and teachers love using. You can get your free demo at classreach.com. That's classreach.com. They are amazing people, and they provide this amazing SIS software for you to keep track of your students' grades, communicating with families that are enrolled, and a whole bunch more. So again, check it all out on their website, classreach.com. They are awesome. All right, now back to the show.
So I briefly mentioned earlier about feedback from the staff, and it's always been something that is very difficult to do, but asking for feedback from staff and doing it in a way where they feel safe and comfortable. So whether that's anonymous or in another fashion, but it really allows them to be open and honest. And but you have to put yourself out there. So just be prepared and ask those questions, but also be prepared for those answers. But it really has helped me as a person and a professional grow. Listen to the feedback, take the constructive criticism and move forward with it, and make those changes, because at the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, we're just all trying to help these students be successful.
You know, a mindset that I continually push our team with is the mindset of focus on winning the day. And why I say that to people is it's so easy as a leader to get caught up thinking about long-term goals that we have for our schools, for our kids, for our staff. You start a year and you're thinking about where do you want kids to finish on a test and where do you want your staff to finish. But I really tried to hone our team into, while we have these long-term goals that we want to be clear about, what's most important is the behaviors that lead us to have a great Tuesday, to have the best Wednesday possible, and to build on those. And when you don't have the best day, how do you make the next day a best day for you, right? And so we talk about win the day. We have it on the walls for the kids, and we try to really embody that mindset in everything we do. And that we're not going to be perfect, but that every day is a chance to get better. And I think that if leaders model that in their behaviors and in their actions and how they speak to their teams, that you'd be amazed at what kind of progress you do make over the course of that year with even one class or with a whole school. And so win the day, focus on what's working, and then learn from what didn't work so you can get better the next day.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that recap of some of the past episodes we've had on the podcast. And as always, I'm just hoping that you guys can take at least one thing away from any of these episodes that you can take back to your school to make your school better than it is right now. There's so many great things inside of these podcast episodes that we're hoping you guys can take back and use. So if you need to, go back and scan through some of the episodes. You can read through them and see some of the different people we've interviewed, the topics that we've talked about, and maybe you can grab something from there that maybe you're currently in the middle of, or you're going through, or you're just wanting some extra help or guidance on. Great way to kind of scan back through and look at the podcast. But hoping you guys kind of enjoy these kind of quick recap episodes. And as always, I've mentioned it before, we have 3 great free resources, 3 great free resources for you guys to check out. The first one, of course, is what you're listening to right now. It is the podcast. It's free, weekly episodes coming out that we want you guys to make sure you're chiming into and listening to and soaking in. The second one, we have a great Facebook community that we want you guys to make sure you're a part of, completely free, and it's called School Success Makers. So if you're on Facebook, go join in there. I'm personally in there. Love to see you in there as well, or you can ask questions, connect with some different school leaders that are in there from all over the world. And then the last and third last one of all of that is our School Success Report, which you can sign up for on our website currently, schoolsuccessmakers.com. In the top right-hand corner, you can click the button School Success Report. It is a weekly email that will go out, just kind of going over different articles that our team has written, highlighting some teachers, giving some articles and ideas that we have come across that we want to make sure you guys are seeing as well. So make sure you're getting that every week. Some great content that the team has prepared so we can put it out there for you guys to check out. And as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas, we want to hear from those, and we want to hear from you with those. So please contact us through our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com, and let us know those so we can better serve you guys. And we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back here next week with another awesome episode as usual on the School Success Podcast. We'll see you then.